Start.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وارنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وارنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Chapter A'la, verse 9. 87th chapter, verse 9. Yeah. So, فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى. Verse says, remind them. Perhaps the reminder, dhikra, benefits, reminder, benefits, is perhaps, means here, hopefully. It's expected. It's expected that the reminder benefits them. Now the problem with the reminding, what do we understand from reminder, reminding or reminder? What do we understand?
Reminder usually makes me think of something that, or I guess a state where I realize something that I knew before.
Does it have to be in the form of knowledge? Knowing something. Does it have to be in the form of knowledge in order to be reminded or in order to remind? Do we have to know it or what else?
It can also be a call. You don't necessarily need to know everything about it, but sometimes it's like grabbing someone's attention. You don't necessarily know what the person's going to say, but the person has your attention, and that in itself, I guess that call is a reminder too.
Who is a reminder? My question, I think I couldn't put my question clearly. Do we need to be reminded about something that we know or we knew? Or what is the nature of reminding?
So I guess the nature of reminding is when you forget something that you ought to be reminded.
Again, in the form of knowledge. The question is, does it have to be in the form of knowledge? We have a secret word we use in our discussions a lot. Anyone?
It has to be like a feeling.
Yeah, getting closer, not exactly, but closer.
I kind of know the word, but it's just...
Potentially, we would be endowed with this potentiality so that it will remind us. For example, typical example, classical example, don't get fed up with it. The seed. Seed has everything in its potentiality. Right. How can you remind the seed in order to let it know that it can become a tree and it is, or it becomes a tree? How do you do that? You put in a damp soil, water it, wait for a while, it quickens what is potentially in it. And of course, it is not a seed, is not a human being. Well, we will bring the other elements that makes human beings different from a seed. That's something else. Now, reminding means, or should be, something potentially within us. So somebody or some other factors, external factors, will quicken our potentiality and turn it into ability. Right? That is why it is important. Reminding means not necessarily that I knew it. For example, in the teachings of the Quran, we cannot discuss about proving the reality of this narration, but Quran says your spirit acknowledged God. Now, in this world, the prophets bring the news, and the signs outside, external, internal, our feelings as well, altogether start working in order to awaken, revive what is already within the potentiality of our spirit. So the spirit acknowledges it because it is not an alien subject, a foreign subject to it. It is not a stranger. Now, it acknowledges the truthfulness of this news or this message, of this reminder. So, are we okay for this understanding now? Not necessarily only knowledge. You may not know. And most of the time, we don't know. But potentially, we can know. We can acknowledge the truthfulness of the message. Now, the message may come in the form of what? Which kind of forms the message reminder or reminding message can be? I can tell you one, verbal explanation, speech. Two, you continue.
Text. Text.
Test.
Text.
Test.
Written.
Text.
Written text.
Oh, that is verbal explanation. You read it, it becomes verbal. That is what I meant. Now, it doesn't have to be really verbal. You write it and you read it, it becomes a verbal explanation. But well, it's okay. It's not wrong, but that's what I meant, actually. What else?
Act. Act.
Act. Somebody does something, when you see it, do you normally, if you have not conditioned yourself, do you understand that this other person's action is right or wrong? Do you have the potentiality to know whether the other person is right or wrong?
Yes. Sure.
Yeah. You say somebody is doing something, it's wrong. It shouldn't be. Sorry? No. It shouldn't be, or it is right. It is right. We can use judge according to our potentiality, but does the potentiality works for everyone equally? Anyone? But just contribute. It may be wrong, doesn't matter. I will say, well, I don't agree with it. So when I say something, if you don't like it, you say, I don't agree with it. We are just discussing better together to find out what the answer to the question is, which makes sense to all of us.
I was just going to ask another question on top of yours. Can you clarify on what you mean by does the potentiality work equally for everyone?
Yeah, it means functions. Does potentiality operates functions in the same way for everybody? But potentiality, for example, which one you like? No, there is no. We shouldn't hurry. Which fruit do you like?
Orange.
Orange. Okay, orange seed. Now, every orange seed grows into an orange tree. But small variations, yes, not exactly the same, but similar. So, do you think every potentiality, human potentiality, works in the same way as the orange seed does? Now, the potentially, every orange seed has the same potentiality, and also every human being has the same potentiality. But do we give or do we grow into the tree as the orange seed grows into an orange tree? Do we do that, or are we different?
So I have two answers to this. One is, I guess, in the essence of the creation of our potential, by that definition, we must be equal.
Yeah,
however,
more or less.
However, because it's dependent on, I guess, ourselves uncovering or discovering that potentiality, then it will always have variations.
Yeah. Why do you think? You said intention, but we said it is it is a good word, but it is always misinterpreted, because everybody can say, well, I have a good intention. No one can say I have a bad intention. Even the thief says, I have to take care of my family. That's my profession. What else I can do? So he according to him, he has a good intention. Although he knows deep down, it is not the right way of making money or bringing bread home. But that's my profession. They have a good intention. So instead of good intention, we emphasize on the importance of using another term. What is that? We use a lot in our dictionary. Free will. Now, we are not like tree seeds. We are human beings. We can change the direction of our potentiality. We can deny the development of our potentiality, or roughly, we can let it go as it is. The second verse will help us to understand that. So, again, I will repeat again. Whatever we speak about human beings, whatever we decide, or even not decide, but try to understand what is going on in the life of human beings, we should never, ever forget one thing. Depending on the subject, we may take other points, but always one constant never changes. What is that? Free will. Free will changes everything for human beings. So every equation, whatever you want to understand about yourself, about yourself, of course, about your actions, your problems, or your happiness, your carelessness, whatever you do, or being overwhelmed about something, maybe exaggerating the importance of some important points, but in an exaggerated form. everything changes according to our free will. So whatever happens, say, what function my free will played here? Ask what the way I have chosen. Ask yourself. So reminder stimulates the potentiality. No, we don't bring anything from outside. That's why it is a reminder. Yeah, because it is reminding something within, something exists already within me. But can everybody take the same attitude towards the reminder? No. In the external form of a human being, potentiality of the human being, it's a classical example. The Prophet, the Moses or Muhammad is the same as Pharaoh. Or typical example, Abu Jahl. They are the same. They have same potentiality. They have same physical form, external form, and they have the same eyes and ear and mind and everything. Why the result is completely opposite to each other? Why? Because of so simple. Not because something was wrong with the spirit of Abu Jahl, or something was extraordinarily prepared in the spirit of Muhammad or Moses. Examples. No, they are the same. They are the same, if you like, the example, same orange seeds. One of them grows into the tree of Tuba, another one grows into a tree of Zakkum, which is what is results in paradise, heaven, or hell. Why? Because orange seeds don't have free will. They don't really choose and distort and change the direction of their growth. What we do. That's why when we look at the Quran, it is puzzling actually when the Quran says, God guides anyone who wants, anyone he wants to the right path, and anyone, again, he wants to the wrong path. According to what? According to his usage of free will. Actually, if we don't misunderstand, the word according to one's expectations, intention. What do you want? God creates accordingly. God gives you the result accordingly. If you like, the expression may be a little bit disturbing, but forget about this, whether it is not pleasant language. God does not act arbitrarily. Why? Yes, he is omnipotent. Yes, he is omniscient, all-knowing. Yes, he has an absolute free will, but his promise is what? His promise is he will act in a wise way according to what you deserve. But how do we deserve according to our free will? Now, reminder may benefit, may not benefit. Yes? But hoping that it should benefit. Now, the reminder is, in the language of the Quran, First of all, the text. It means we inherit the text, the revelation that the prophet receives. That is verbal reminder, but also the wisdom in sending this revelation through a man like me, because he will represent the content of the revelation in the act of a human being, in the form of a human being. He will represent. So it will be presented to me in the form of an act in the life of the prophet. Right? The Quran strangely said, well, not strange, but you may not have heard of it. Quran says, with a commonly, it is not very widely spoken example. Quran says clearly, if the group were angels living in a place, the group of people were angels of the nature of angels. Quran clearly says, straight, there's a clear verse, but we would send them a prophet, a messenger, an angel. An angel. Angel to angel. Human beings to human being. Human being to human being. Why? Because the reminder will take place in the act form, in the form of act. So we will see the action. Right? That's why the prophet is necessary, because we need not only verbal explanation, but also actions, behaviors of the people around us. Another reminder is, now, we covered Quran, we covered the prophet. Other reminder is, come on, you should know.
Creation. Oh.
Yes, yeah. Think about it. Yeah, the creation. Because the creation is nothing but, now let's complete the circle now. Now, creation is nothing but the manifestations of the qualities of the Creator manifesting here, right? Oh, okay. Human beings are nothing but, in their essence, in their spirit, nothing but what God, the Creator, has inspired into him. And what God has breathed into him from his spirit. What does it mean? Now to the end of the, if you like, bow, or what do you say?
Circle.
Now, comes together in contacts there, where they touch each other. Human nature, alaykum salam, human nature is decided by the Creator through manifestation of his names. The universe is the place where the qualities, names, the Quran uses names, but qualities of the Creator manifests. So if you really do not distort through your free will, that you are going to take the message from the creation, it matches. You will just approve it. You will just approve it, yeah? Do you think it's charging? See? There's something wrong?
I had a feeling.
There was something wrong.
Need a manual.
No, just have it. Now let's come back to our topic. Let it doesn't take long then.
We can try pressing the power button and see if it works.
No, it is working.
It's
Look,
charging.
it's charging. Let
Yeah.
it charge.
Okay.
When the charge shows that it is full, then we can press the button.
Okay.
I think we have to wait until it charges. Let's see how long it will take. Your question or comment, whatever.
So if the creator manifests his names to
Qualities.
his qualities to creation,
To
the people in the creation.
the creation. Yeah, in the creation out there, but every individual also.
Right, every
Because every individual is given spirit directly breathed by its creator. It means specially designed where it will be endowed with the tools to acknowledge the qualities of its creator. Consciously, that's human beings. What makes human beings special is this. Consciously, we can acknowledge the qualities of my creator individually, consciously. As far as we know, the other creatures don't seem to be consciously acknowledging, but there is another matter we are not going to discuss today.
So this goes back to the comment of the orange. Do people have the same potentiality as the oranges? So we can flourish with the same potentiality, but it's the free will that will distort that flourishness. Right? It's the free will that will distort us from.
We distort. The free will is free, given to us to be used as freely. So we may block it, we may distort it, well, we may let it go, even we may kill it. Or we may make them dysfunction complete. Now, that is what we have to be careful about. This subject, you remember that I keep repeating free will is important, free will is important. Now, neglect, definitely take into account if you want to understand yourself, what is going on within you, or if you want to help other people, know that they have free will. So the Prophet knew it, that Prophet knew it. That's why Quran keeps reminding the Prophet by saying, you cannot do anything more than reminding, which is called delivering the message. It's reminding. You cannot do anything more than this. Right?
So you can keep going.
Yeah. Where are you going to hit?
Sorry?
Which one did you hit?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to get the screen sharing to go. Can you try unplugging and plugging it back in?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other person, you can remind the other person. Other person will take it seriously and apply it to his life or not, that's up to him. That's why human beings are free. No one can really impose anything on them. And we shouldn't really expect, we should remind other people and they should follow us. If they don't follow us, we get angry. No? We may get disappointed. No, we shouldn't. Why? Because we have to respect everybody's freedom. Essentially, why do we have to respect everybody's freedom? The creator of this person respects his freedom. whatever.
Just the wrong spot.
But it went in.
It's
It was my mistake.
okay.
Let's learn it.
Okay. Right, there we go.
Where was it? Which one was it? Does it say?
Yeah, just there's only one. I don't know how it fit. Yeah, you can plug it back in. It's all good now.
It disturbed really distracted my attention.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, you understand the verse now. Remind then, perhaps the reminder benefits. It means no further than reminding we have any responsibility. Well, if you want to be hard, don't be hard on yourself, but see within yourself, why don't you question yourself, why don't you take the reminder into account or think about it seriously. So, سيذكر من يخشى. I'm moving to the next verse. And do you have any questions or concerns about the first verse?
Just going back to your initial question of does reminder has to be in the form of knowledge, and I would say
no, it doesn't have to be. We said no, not only in the form of knowledge. No, it is form of knowledge. I don't know whether it is relevant or not.
in the form of instruction, perhaps.
The form of whatever we have in our potentiality. No, form of in the language-wise maybe, action-wise maybe, and demonstrated in the creation and taking the lesson from the creation. Roughly we can say in 3 ways. For example, you cannot say that I was reminded in the dream. It is maybe speculative, but these 3 elements are sure. What else, you can be reminded? If you are a prophet, then you can receive revelation, but that is not the subject for us.
I'm thinking more in terms of if somebody's reminding you something, it comes off first in the form of, they're presenting you with something like instruction, information whatsoever, but then you have to obviously cultivate whatever information is given or knowledge is given to flourish, where you have to utilize.
Now that is cultivation. That's a good word. Reminding is a cultivation. But, for example, let's say you promise me that you are going to bring a book. Right? You are going to bring a book. And you forget about it. If you know Arabic, there is another word, takhattur. It means, hey, where is my book? Because I've forgotten it knowledge-wise. Hey, you forgot it. That is not necessarily tadhakkur. Yeah, because the zikr does not only mean that to remember, but also dhikr is something to keep in your mind and keep it alive in your mind. It means it is within you. And another factor from our side, as we talked at the beginning of today's discussion, it awakens your potentiality, right? And it becomes a ability. So your potentiality becomes an ability. If you like, we should understand the reminder, whether in the form of a Quran or in the form of a creation or in the form of somebody else's telling me something. Regardless, it is cultivating within me so that the potentiality will grow into action or ability. If you like, when you go to school, you learn something. In fact, the teacher is, what is the teacher doing?
Reminding you.
Reminding you. Yeah? Prophet is a teacher. Even God, the creator, is a teacher. How? By creating the potentiality within me and by creating the universe outside so that I can communicate with the universe so that it will develop, improve, progress. What is potentiality in my being? What potentiality I have in my being? What potentiality I have in my being is not a strange thing. In fact, they are all the qualities of the Creator manifested in my being. What makes me my spirit is my spirit. My spirit is what? What God breathed into me, into the, in the very simple description of the Quran, into the clay, into the mud. It means this flesh, right? So this is nothing but manifested qualities of our Creator. But we may develop them, we may cultivate them, or if you like, farm them, and we may irrigate them with a good intention. The water will come. It means with the intention you can take the information from either the universe or from the revelation or the exemplary teachings and the narrations of the prophet. You develop yourself. It means really we are just farmers on ourselves. But it needs our decision. How consistent we are that I'm going to grow and grow my humanity, it was human nature, into a physical form that I can experience in this world. It needs my intention, deliberate. I have to will it to happen. Clear? So if somebody is teaching you, I don't know how to use this machine, for example, now, he's a teacher. He teaches you what is already within your potentiality, but this potentiality has not come into ability. You are helping me to turn my potentiality and cultivate it into and grow it into ability. Now, we said it was very important. Earlier on, maybe more than once, but not many times, any reminder, either in the form of a prophet, in the form of a messenger, or in the form of the creation, they are all coming to help me develop my potentiality into ability by their own capacity. They don't teach me more than what my potentiality includes in it. Why? Who will tell me why? I mean, it is a theological subject, but okay, let's make it in a layman form. Why do you think the Quran verse or the prophet or some people learn something from the prophet and they are transferring the knowledge of the prophet to me, which are called actually the Ahl Bayt, the family of the prophet, followers of the close followers of the prophet. So whoever they really follow the prophetic teaching, and convey the prophetic message to other people, they are Ahl Bayt. So those people belonging to the line of the line of the teachings of the prophets, they teach you, but they never teach you more than what your potentiality contains. Why?
Because everyone has a different capacity.
Sorry?
Because everyone has a different capacity and a different quality.
They don't bring you now, okay, we are missing the question, or I didn't put it clearly. They don't bring you, even the Quran doesn't bring you more than what your potentiality is. It what includes. Why?
Because you can't expect apples from an orange tree.
So
You can't expect apples from an orange tree, from an orange seed. You can't expect
it means.
You can't expect something that is not already within it, that it already has the
So
potentiality.
why do you think that, for example, Quran is not expected to teach me what my potentiality contains, more than what my potentiality contains? Yet it requires that it should teach me what is within my quality, so that I can understand and appreciate it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to understand it, and I cannot approve it. That is correct. Why is it the case? What is the reason that we don't expect the Quran to teach me more than what my potentiality is?
Speech for you.
God's teaching, even universe's teaching, not human. Prophet's teaching, that a prophet says, God teaches me, I convey it to you. It is not my knowledge, it is not my wisdom. We have to understand ourselves, who we are.
It would be incomprehensible.
Yeah, it is incomprehensible. Why do you think? Yeah, why do you think it is incomprehensible?
By definition,
Okay.
it's beyond
Now,
potential.
let's define a human potentiality. What was human potentiality, or what is human potentiality?
Quality given by the divine. Quality is given to us by
God.
by the divine.
What does it include in it?
Quality is given to us by the divine.
So what does it include in it? Qualities needs a little bit more expansion. It's a good start, very good start, but needs more explanation.
I was going to say that we are representing all the qualities. We have the potential to represent all of the qualities of God.
Now, why do they are one step ahead? So we are representing all the qualities of God. Why do you think we are representing all the qualities of God? Because
We have been given, we are the, humans have free will.
now, sorry?
You can get to know your creator.
So no, because we
that is the
are
purpose of our existence.
now, because what makes us a human being is not our flesh, but what God breathed into us from His Spirit. What does it mean? I mean, ruh.
Conscious.
From His Spirit, it means whatever the qualities God has given into or inspired into us. What makes my spirit is nothing but the created, manifested form of the qualities of God. You understand that? It means all the names of God is already instilled in me. You understand? So, what the universe represents, the names of God, which I already have been given in my humanity, in my spirit. What the Quran says guides me through manifesting the names of God, introducing God to me with his names, qualities, and connecting me to my original source. Yeah. So when the Quran says, I breathe into human being, God taught Adam with all names. It means qualities of God, names of God, Esma. And the Quran emphasizes علم الأسماء كلها علم آدم الأسماء كلها. What does it mean? All of them. God taught Adam all the names. It means names of God is already given. So I am endowed with the ability to acknowledge it when I encounter with the manifestations of the names of God, either in the creation or in the prophetic exemplary life or in the message revelation. I will receive it. I will detect it, because I have been given the detectors. Do you get it? That is why human beings, in the language of the Quran, is created in the most perfect form. Ahsan taqweem. You must have heard this. It means none of the names and qualities of God is missing in my potentiality. But potentiality doesn't mean capability. Capability needs cultivation. So tree, come back to the seed example. Seed has the potentiality to become a tree, right? Know that. When it is cultivated, it becomes a tree, perfect tree, right? But the tree, the capability or ability, whatever you call it, capacity, the capacity of tree was already within the seed. No more, no less, right? Only the conditions, external conditions may make the tree maybe not in the perfect form, but it doesn't allow me to deny the fact that the seed has the potentiality. Because of the weather conditions, it didn't grow as the potentiality required it to grow. External. So potentiality is perfect. Human potentiality is also perfect, but human potentiality is not the perfection of the human potentiality is not the perfection of the tree seed. Human potentiality is perfect in order to understand, realize, connect with the names of Creator when it is presented to us in three ways: the universe, the Quran, and the Prophet. Do you see another picture? It's very simple, but very, very important. We know where we stay within the creation now. What is our coordination step? We perfectly fit into the center of the creation so that we can communicate with everything. Potentially. So no one can say that, oh, I cannot really understand this. I cannot really, no, it is impossible. I cannot I cannot come to the same conclusion as some people come. No, 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 no. Just use your free will freely. You will understand what is going on within yourself, within the universe, within the message of God, it means revelation, and within the life of the prophet. It must come, all of them, all the sources must unite in the same center where human spirit acknowledges all of them in the center. That's why a human being is at least equal to the universe, even more. It is consciously acknowledgeable. Human beings consciously acknowledge what is the reality. But the universe itself, material side of the universe, cannot consciously acknowledge the reality, but it is like a mirror. Universe is like a mirror. Yeah, mirror, do you think mirror consciously reflecting what is in front of it? What objects are in front of it? No, it is made in this way. It's unconsciously functions. Do you understand? But human beings are not like mirror. It's of what we are reflecting. But get to know yourself. And it is important to know who I am. What is my mission in this world? Very simple. It's very simple. What is my mission in this world? It's very simple. To go back to my origin, to acknowledge my origin. Don't distort it. Don't kill it. To go back to your origin. You know, listen to yourself with no prejudice whatsoever. Now, in this process, do you feel pain? Yeah. In this process, what makes the situation difficult? Now, there are, although we are expanding very, very widely this reminder business, because I said today we have to talk about reminding. One, we are created like other beings, subject to graduation, gradual development. Nothing happens immediately. Right? One important point. One seed doesn't become a tree in 1 minute, in 1 day. It gradually develops. It gradually improves its potentiality and makes it manifested. So what is difficult for us, what makes the case difficult for us, although it shouldn't be difficult at all, if only you understand that you are in this, you are the center of the universe. You are the center of the creation, not the origin, center of the creation. Everywhere you can communicate, everything may benefit to you. Everything. Every event. You can interpret, understand, and go back to your origin and connect yourself to the origin of your existence. But humanity exists, human existence, right? But what we expect, it should happen in 1 day. No one can be perfect. No, it is gradual. Know that I will get into the past. That's why God says, I am not expecting you to be perfect. Right? Nowhere that you have to be perfect. But you have to be on the right path. On the right direction, on the right road to going. either walking or biking or using a car, or some people use an airplane on the same direction, on the same path. Doesn't matter. What is important? To be on the path, right path. It means to try to acknowledge your source of existence, origin of your existence. Do you understand? And it takes time. Don't worry about it. This is one important step that we, or point, or matter that we have to be very careful. We will develop. Don't worry. As long as you are making progress in the same direction in order to connect your being to its origin, continue there. Be consistent there. The second point. Are we happy with this one, or is it clear? Now, the second is, we think that I never be able to practice it, put it into practice. But we know that human intelligence, human consciousness is different from human actions. Why do you think Quran makes the difference between shirk and doing something wrong? What the Quran says, and also human beings can understand this, but let's talk in terms of the teachings of the Quran. Quran says, I never forgive shirk, but I can forgive the wrongdoings. Why? Why do you think the Quran keeps repeating this? Just repent, just ask for forgiveness. Why? If you insist in committing shirk, it means not being on the path and connecting your spirit to another source, which is false, not the origin. For example, expecting satisfaction from obtaining the things in this world. No, you can only be satisfied if you find your origin of existence. If you connect it, everything will become a servant to you, prepared for your creator in order to use them, to understand what is manifested, which names manifested there, so that you can connect it. No, some people say, this expression, Seyru Suluk. Have you heard of this word? Seyru Suluk? No. Anyone heard the word Seyru Suluk? Okay. This is a Sufi, the language of the Sufi tradition. They say you have to develop and follow certain steps of the ladder in order to reach your creator. So you have to go through different stages. They give instructions. First you have to do this, and then do that, and then do that, okay? But we learn from the person we study his book on Saturdays. He says, no, you don't have to do this processes, going through certain actions. Just immediately, you can connect one by one what is in your potentiality, what is manifesting in the thing that you are encountering. It's very easy. Immediately. How? Just orange, you like orange. Huh? Okay, this is the system. So as you eat the orange, don't eat orange. I mean, physically eat it, but don't bury the orange in your stomach, and don't turn your stomach into a cemetery. How are you going to do that? Okay, Your stomach's function is just to digest what is there materially, but your human consciousness connect what quality is manifested in the orange so that you are experiencing it. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait 40 years, 30 years, immediately there. But be able to put it into practice, put this form into practice. We may not be able to do that, but we have to understand that reaching the origin, connecting yourself to your creator, doesn't need anything that you have to do something else outside of you. For example, do certain actions, exercises. No, just conscious relationship within your life, in your life, with the things that you are encountering. Always see what is manifested there, and they use the tool, knowledges or recognizes it. It means what name of the creator manifested there, or most the names of the creator manifested there. You have to do. You said that, oh, I cannot because I don't have it. No. You have the tool. You acknowledge it there immediately. You can do this, but you may not be able to succeed immediately. In one case, one orange, maybe at the beginning or in the middle somewhere, in 5 seconds, you remember, and then you forget it. That's what happens to me. It's okay, but we have to theoretically know that it is possible to connect the origin of your creation, where you came from, immediately. It is possible. Action-wise, let me complete this. Action-wise, we may fail. Quran keeps telling us that don't despair of God's mercy to forgive you. Acknowledge it. It's very important. Acknowledgement is very important. I did something wrong. Example. I ate the orange, never connected or established a connection between the qualities manifested in the existence of the orange and the tools which detect them in me and connect them together and say, the merciful one, the wise one, the compassionate one is introducing himself to me, and I welcome him by acknowledging. It's very simple, isn't it? Now, when you fail something, which I do a lot, you have to say, sorry, I didn't again do it. I didn't connect it. I ate the orange and I never remember the origin of its existence. And what is the message that is conveyed to me so that I will acknowledge it? Okay, God says, admit it, repent, and say it was wrong. It was wrong. That is important. That when we do this, we are not committing shirk, which means we are not really going into a completely meaningless life. Why should I bother, for example, denying your reality? No, the orange is the product of nature. Just I am hungry, I bought it, I paid for it, and that's it. It is my property. I can treat orange as I want. You can do that. When you do this, that is the sign of shirk. It means not connecting with God and distorting the direction. For example, if you don't really plug in this wire to this wire, with the two right wires, and the machine doesn't work. But acknowledge it, even if you don't do it, say, look, this wire should go here in order to complete the circle. It means my quality will be connected to my origin. Acknowledge. I should do this, but I didn't do it. You are not doing it still, but admit it. Be brave to admit your mistakes or your shortcomings. Never try to justify it. Find an excuse. Do you think we will be always with God? 5 times a prayer is enough? Something like this. So say, look, I cannot make it. I am not making it. I will develop it gradually. That is how I am created. This is quite normal. I don't deny it, but this is my aim. This should be my aim. Then God says, okay, because you are not denying the reality, denying your real mission in the world, that's all right. That's all right. Accept it, admit it. When you deny it, that is it. That is unforgivable, which means, why is it unforgivable?
Not even get back to the source.
Yeah, it is not admitted. Ignored the source. We ignored the source. Yeah. So it is very bad. So your question, and then yours.
Yeah. I understood.
Okay, yours.
So is it really unforgiveness, or is it really just another way of saying that you'll never truly be happy or fulfilled if you don't connect yourself?
That is why it is unforgivable. It means you will never be happy with your being a human being. That means you are not forgiven. It means by your nature, you cannot really be happy within yourself. You cannot satisfy yourself. Only we get the satisfaction, only we plug in the right outlet, if you like. Then we get human satisfaction. Otherwise, we cannot. As a result of my existence in this world, I won't get satisfaction. Yeah. In the next creation, when I graduate from this world, so my degree will say failure. Yeah. Yeah. So let's finish this reminding verses. So, سَيَذَّكَّرُ مَنْ يَخْشَى. It is very easy now to understand the second verse on the slide. Verse 10. Those who stand in awe of God will heed the reminder. What does it mean? Only those people, would you like to say?
Yeah, like so the analogy you gave out the ones for plugging in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
benefit.
Those people who have the right attitude in awe of God, which means really generally know that, look, I am created by the creator of the universe, and I should not deny my reality. I cannot say that I can stand on my own feet. It means I am independent. My existence is independent. That is impossible. You can acknowledge it. And so I have to be honest with myself, within myself. I have to be honest. When those people get the reminder, when they hear, they don't deny. They don't look for an excuse not to accept it. They say, okay, you are right. For example, that simple, practical, and everybody is familiar with it. I am not praying, practicing prayer, and you see that the animals and plants and everything obeys God's order. I have to obey God's order and I have to pray. It means really put my understanding into practice in three ways. In three ways. One, body will practice it. Tongue will say it. What is more, your consciousness will accompany it. Right. If while we are communicating with God, we may use our tongue. And tongue says it, whatever your conclusion is. Tongue says it. But if it is not accompanied with your consciousness, what happens? Meaning is missing. So the body is there, meaning is missing. Like that body. So it needs spirit. It needs life. Life is our consciousness. If you take this three form, united in your supplications, in your communication with God, or maybe while you are fasting or doing something, whatever, action-wise, these are called prescribed rituals. Okay? While you are doing this, be careful, three elements must be united. Body should accompany, should be presenting it in the form of physical presentation. For example, the typical example is, if you are fasting, body will say, yes, the food doesn't belong to me, although it is in my fridge, although I paid for it, but it doesn't belong to me. The real owner is saying, okay, you can have it after sunset, all right? Just a training possibility or the opportunity, not possibility. Training opportunity, in order to acknowledge it bodily, you don't eat it until sunset. As the owner of the food required it from you in order to provide you an opportunity to practice it. That is body. And your tongue will say, I am fasting. Yes, I will acknowledge it. But what is important? Your consciousness should accompany it. What I am doing. The best example is the prayer. That's why prayer is the most important. 5 daily prescribed prayer. In the prayer, we do certain actions. According to the actions, we say something accompanying the actions. But what is important? It is not written in the fiqh books. Your consciousness should be there to give meaning, to give life to it. Do you understand what you are doing? Why are you doing this? The best example is that the Quran emphasizes on it, bowing and prostrating. Right? Ruku and sujood. Bowing and prostration. While you are bowing, your tongue is saying something. So your consciousness will say, what am I doing here? Why do I do this? Huh? In order to express that my origin of existence is supreme being, Azim in Arabic. So prostration, putting yourself as much as possible on down, right? Yeah. Okay. You may be familiar, some people may be familiar with it. The Quran uses, they prostrate on cheeks. The word is chicks. Yeah. So in some tradition, they put chicks because verbally taking. Yeah. Okay. I'm not wrong with it, but consciousness should be accompanied. Consciousness. What am I doing then? Why? The Quran said, put your cheek on or forehead on your prostration. And your face will be on, but the face has the forehead, face has the cheeks. Yep. So put on the down, what does it mean? I am the loss. It means I have nothing to claim. Yeah. By declaring that you have nothing to claim, in the opposite, the creator, the owner of the universe has everything. He is the supreme being. He is sublime being, A'la. Your body expresses it what? By going down. Your tongue says, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. Your consciousness should be aware of what you are doing. That makes your prayer so meaningful and precious. So you know what you are doing. You just express yourself. You just express yourself. Right? In our supplications, in our prayers, we should bargain with God. I always say this. What we should do? Express my reality through my body, through my tongue, through my consciousness. Just express what you are. For example, I am ill. Typical example, simple example. I am ill. I want to recover. So I turn God, that's important, and say, please give me health, recover my sickness. Yeah, I want to go back to my healthy position. Now, as if you are expecting that you will be cured. No, curing is totally dependent on Him. You are expressing only what your reality is. Needy of health. We have to, we don't really keep this in mind. We think that we are praying so that God will say, okay, this person is really crying, so let me cure him. No, that is a completely different process. What God is going to do is a completely different process. What I am doing is a completely different process. What I am doing is acknowledging my reality, but the result depends on Him. I cannot really change God's will. No, that is what He does. Whatever He does, He is beyond time. He is beyond space. He knows what's going on and what you will do, what I will do. So express yourself, whatever you need. For example, I have been praying, and your prayer, they say the famous saying, your prayer is heard. Why? It is accepted. God promises that He accepts, He answers the prayers. He is aware of your prayer. But that is God's mission or God's part. If you like, that is God's duty. Don't put yourself or your nose into God's sphere. Do your job. What do you want? For example, not only here, something else. Tell me something, what you want. Anybody? You don't want anything?
Success in work.
Sorry?
Success in work.
Success.
In work. Something to work.
In work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For work.
Do you need it to be successful?
No, not that. The work moves forward. Like you're working towards something, you want it to work out. You want it to succeed. You want it to,
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to be successful in your work?
Yes.
Yeah. That is what you have to do. You need it. You need to be successful in your work. That's what you have to express, your reality. Don't expect that God is going to give you success. You don't know the wisdom of God, what He's going to do, what is better for you, because the God says sometimes in the Quran there is a straightforward verse. It's a very simple, very well, literally you can understand it. Sometimes human beings pray for good. In fact, it is for their not good, how do you say, death. Without realizing that, they ask me to give them bad things, although they think that they are asking for good. That is why this verse also is a guideline for us to disconnect between my duty and God's duty. God's duty is to create what is good for you if you are really connecting with the origin. Your duty is to accept what your reality is. For example, you want to be successful in your profession. Express it. But don't make it a point that God is going to respond to my prayer and accept it as I want. You don't know. So just to express yourself, if you think of every kind of prayers that presented to us in the Quran as the way of expressing what my reality is. For example, the prophets, in the prophet examples, there are many prayers that the prophet Abraham prayed that, please make my generation, or how do you say, young generation?
Progeny.
Sorry?
Progeny.
Progenies. Or the praying ones, yeah, musalli, the praying ones, performing the prayer. It doesn't really speak to God and command him, saying that, no, please make my children to be like this. No, don't understand it in this way. It's not the right way of understanding the Quran. It means we are in need of our progenies to be worshiping God. God worshippers. I want it. That's what I need. Express it. It means express yourself. But at the end, what happens? Your children may be worshippers of God or worshippers of something else. That is completely dependent on God's wisdom and will. But still you have to express what you need. Communicating with God. So we shouldn't really confuse it. So when we pray, we have to combine three elements, mainly three elements, as a result of being an standing person in awe of God. If you want to be one of this yaksha, the people who really stand in awe of God, it is created in this way. But some translators said who has fear of God. I mean, khashya, but in certain cases, it is fear. It means fear. But in this case, to heeding the message of the reminders, it means you have to have your own consciousness, who you are, what your position is before your Creator. What is your position? In this connection, if you have a right attitude, you are the one who stands in awe of God. It means I should really connect my existence to the origin of my existence. That is my mission, but I may not do that. That's something else. But I need that one. If you have this intention, the reminders will benefit you. Right? I think this I mean, the following is very easy. The wicked will avoid it. It means the wicked will avoid it. Oh, we understood it. That's the opposite. He will enter the great fire. It means he will put himself into a trouble and he will suffer because of his wrong choice. Right? Where he will either die or live, we can start from there. 13. I think we covered this 9, 10, 11, 12 verses. The opposite of what we have been explaining. Are you satisfied with it? Okay, let's stop. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.